Welcome to the VictoryXR show. We have another great episode today, and we are coming to you from Denver, Colorado. And we've been working with MSU Denver for about a year, maybe a year and a half now. And so we have a couple of the professors who are experts in the field of hospitality. First, we have Kiyan, Shafieizadeh. And Kiyan works specifically or more so in the field of hotel management. Then we have Smita, Singh. And Smita works also in hospitality, but more for events. So as you can guess, in the world of simulation or scenario training, the possibilities of virtual reality are huge in the hospitality industry. So we're going to get right into this. Kiyan, and I should also say they're both assistant professors at MSU Denver. I don't know if I said that or not. So if I left something out, feel free to fill that in. But Kiyan, talk to us a little bit about the classes that you teach.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Steve. It's my pleasure to join you today. So my name is Kiyan Shafieizadeh. I'm an assistant professor in the School of Hospitality at Metropolitan State University of Denver. So as Steve mentioned, there are many potentials using virtual reality, specifically in hospitality field. MSU Denver is the first higher education institution in the state of Colorado using metaverse in different classrooms. And School of Hospitality is one of the first at MSU Denver. So as I said, there are different potentials for using metaverse technology in hospitality field. As Steve mentioned, I mainly teach hotel management courses. I also teach some general hospitality courses like marketing and sales, quality service. So when our school, as I said, our school was one of the first using metaverse technology. When we decided using it, Smita and I, we were the first two professors, two faculty decided using it in our classrooms. So I started using metaverse technology in spring of 2023, and then I'm using it this semester as well. So I use it in my quality service leadership class. So in this class, we mainly teach students how to provide a memorable experience for the guests when they're visiting different hospitality companies. So, and then I was thinking how I can use this one. What is the best way of using this technology? As I said, for faculty, we are still learning that. We are still learning about different potentials of technology. And thanks to VictoryXR for all of those trainings that you provide before using this. So then after that, I learned about different opportunities. Then I try to incorporate this technology into my classrooms. For example, for the first semester that I used it, I was using it in different modules, in a few modules. Then now I'm adding more modules and then using it in different aspects. And as you know, students nowadays, new generations, they love technology. Whenever you say that I'm using this technology, they will pay more attention, I believe, to the class content. And I'll talk more about this, about the way that I'm using it. If you want to answer, if you want me to answer now.
We'll dig a little deeper in just a couple minutes. But one of the interesting things to me is that there is such a thing as hospitality. So, first of all, when I was young, I think maybe in high school or something, and I first learned that somebody could study hospitality, I thought to myself, you can learn to run a hospital. That seems like a good deal. And later, I figured out that hospitality, even though root word hospital, is actually in the hotel and service industry, but obviously very important. So talk to us, Smita, about your focus in the hospitality industry with your classes.
And thank you, Steve, for providing this opportunity. I think it has been a pleasure to work along with you in past 1 year down the line. So I teach event management courses within school, and I've integrated metaverse into one of my classes, which is called as Global Meeting and Events. Basically, this class focuses upon like traveling to different events in different parts of the world. And as we know, like because of travel restrictions or because of the funds and everything, people are unable to travel. Previously, virtual reality was one of the things which was being used, but metaverse, given that it is so immersive, you can create an avatar, you can still involve yourself in the metaverse environment or the immersive environment. I think it has proved to be an engaging technology. I have been able to train students for like using metaverse initially, and this is the first step that we usually follow before even students actually join our classes, right? So there are certain kind of we make sure that we make it like pretty inclusive. So we always provide students with options, like those who want to use the metaverse is great. If not, then also they can use it and go to these kind of events using their laptops, because Engage has been like pretty encouraging for them because it has different platforms through which you can engage with the environment itself, right? So that is the first part that we do in the class. The second part is like if there's some videos or if there's some other things that can be integrated into the environment itself, that will be great. So this is what we have done before. Other than this, recently we collaborated with one of the universities wherein one of the professors, along with her students, she was able to join in the metaverse environment, and we used our digital twin MSU Denver campus as one of the spots wherein students can also join. Our students can also join. So it had sounded like a great collaboration opportunity because previously it was not possible. Just imagine like my students around 20 in number joining a different environment, and her students were able to join from the same environment, and it was a great collaboration that we did. So we are still, it is a learning curve for me. I'm trying to explore like various ways that we can do it, and I try to involve like a lot of students into research work as well. Recently they submitted a case study on the use of metaverse and how sustainability can be integrated into it, into one of the undergrad research symposiums. And again, like students are inspired for it. I'll say like that. They love technology a lot and they love to play. It is very different as compared to traditional formats that we have been using it. So I'll definitely encourage all the instructors to do it, because it is great for the instructors also to take a break from the traditional format of lecturing and looking forward to something into the metaverse environment. Mhm.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. We see this across the board, not just in hospitality, but in history and engineering and so many other fields, verticals, colleges. So, Kiyan, let's drill down a little bit deeper in how what some of the practical use cases are for using virtual reality in hotel management, but also talk in terms of whether it's asynchronous or synchronous, whether it's single player, multiplayer, and the role of a professor or instructor in what you do.
Yeah, that's a great question, Steve. So the way that I'm using the metaverse technology is that when we start the semester, so students, first of all, on the syllabus, they see that there's some virtual reality elements on the syllabus. So my role as a faculty for the first few weeks of the semester is to teach students how to use the technology. So there are some trainings that you provide for students as well, in addition to instructors. So what I do in the first few weeks of semesters, in the week 2, students check out the Oculus, they take it home, and they have the Oculus for the whole semester. So what I ask students to do for the first 4 weeks is to go through different types of training. So we created a guidelines for the training. So they have to log into the Engage, they have to create their avatar, then they have to join some events, and then start going through those trainings that VictoryXR provides. Then after that, and then at the end, the first assignment of the class is to join a meeting, join an event in the virtual reality, any event that they like. They have to join, record themselves, take a selfie in the event, and then they submit it online on campus. And then I go through their submissions, and also I ask them to write a reflection. So then I'm also, as I said, I'm also learning what are some challenges that they might have when they're trying to use the technology. Then I go through all of those submissions and then make sure that everyone is ready to use the metaverse technology before I use it in the classroom, right? And then, as Smita mentioned, so some students, they might not feel comfortable using or wearing Oculus all the times when we are using it. So I give students the option to join through browser, right? So they log into their Engage account. They are still in the session, but not on the Oculus. So they have that option as well. So after that, they complete these trainings, then I start using different modules, going through different modules. I always have a guest speaker in the virtual reality environment. You, Steve, if you remember, you joined my class as well as the guest speaker. Then we give students some kind of tours. So they have an opportunity, if let's say, to visit different hotels, different facilities, if there are contents available in the virtual reality environment. Then after that, for example, for my quality service class, I have an assignment. I call it service failure scenario. So I ask my students, I divide students into different groups. And then each group, they have to write a service failure scenario. Because one of the topics that I cover in my class is service failure and service recovery. Then I assign every single service failure scenario to one group. They have no idea. So one group is service provider. Other students in the class are guests. And then you know it. So you develop those content. You develop the hotel or restaurant. Last semester, I had a student, they could pick hotel, restaurant for the environment. So then there are some customers, which are students. They are complaining about something. There's some service failure happening. And then I ask one group, 4 or 5 students, to go over all of those service recovery strategies that we covered in the class. And then we record these sessions. And then I always ask students feedback at the end of semester. I'm working on a research project with Smita as well. So we are collecting data. We are interviewing our students to get their perspective, their feedback about their metaverse experience, right? So we ask, how was this experience? What is the value of using this? And then one of the most important things that students, they mention is that they feel safe. It's more inclusive environment when they are in the metaverse technology, the metaverse environment, virtual reality environment. So they can be themselves. They can easily talk with other students, with other people in the classroom. So that was the main, I think, advantage of using the metaverse technology. And you cannot believe in those, for example, in that service failure scenario that I have some students that usually they do not talk in the classroom, but they are completely different students in the virtual reality environment. They are active, they talk to other students, they interact with other students, and they're really enjoying the environment.
That's, we hear that over and over as well, because that fear of failure, that fear of asking questions is significantly lessened for whatever the reason in virtual reality and metaverse learning. One of the things that we are working on and deploying literally as we speak is our AI conversational avatars. So we believe that you're going to be able to integrate these AI customers in and have conversations with them about some problem or challenge that they faced when they checked in or in the room or whatever the case might be. So we think that for the scenario role play, that will allow students to do it without the need of having other students in there if that becomes a scheduling problem. So
yeah. And then I think I forgot to answer your question. The way that we use it, the first semester that I was using it, students, they were in the classroom. So all of us, we were joining the virtual reality environment in the classroom. But then I realized there's some challenges with the students. They're talking, they can hear each other in the classroom. And then for one module, I divided students. Some of them, they went to another environment because we have a hotel attached to our department. They went to our ballroom, and some students, they joined from there. But still, there were some challenges. Then this semester, whenever I'm using the metaverse technology, students, they join remotely. So they join from home, from wherever they want. And then this is a much, much better experience this semester.
Yeah, we find that students joining remotely, people can think of potential challenges, but it seems to work almost flawlessly because everybody has their own dedicated Wi-Fi. You don't have to worry about getting through firewalls. It's just a very good experience that way. And frankly, the professors enjoy remaining in their office during that class time instead of heading over to the lecture hall or whatever the case might be. So, Smita, talk to us. Let's drill down with you as well. What are some specific ways that you're deploying role playing or scenario training in virtual reality?
Definitely. And thank you, Steve, and thank you, Kiyan, for providing those insights. So basically, the procedure is still the same. Because initially when we were trying to adopt this kind of technology, right, we were a little bit concerned about like how students will react to it. But somehow the reaction was pretty positive. And so the procedure is still the same, wherein what we do is like we have our internal guidelines, which was created by one of our TAs. And we do take help of our teaching assistants as well, because these are the people who have been trained before and they are well connected with other students also, right? So if there's a growing positivity with the TAs that, hey, metaverse is something that you can look forward for, I think students listen to them more, I'd say like that. So definitely we have our TAs who can help us out in order to integrate this technology. We invited one of the trainers initially, Eric Mason, to the classes. So at least like he can train the students as well as us in how to use it step by step. So that is the first step that we do, right? So once students are very comfortable with it, definitely I give them some exercises or assignments which are related to their avatar creation, or maybe joining an event online, right? How they can do it, whether they are able to do it or not, what are the challenges, and how we can rectify all those challenges. So those are handled in the class itself. So that is the first step. As we move on further, like with different courses, especially with global meeting and events, I've been doing it with reference to some cross collaboration with other universities, wherein some professors and students who can be invited into the same environment or to a digital twin with MSU Denver. That is the first step that is the second step that we are doing. Other than this, we also try a lot so that we can get collaborate with like a lot of Asian universities. So recently, one of the Indian university, they approached me and they told me they would love to have that kind of like a cross collaboration with the students in the same environment. And I was like, okay, let me figure it out for the next semester itself. So this is what the power looks like. The third one is with global meeting and events, because it's all about that international culture, international traditions, international events and everything. So I try to look forward for certain kind of videos which can be integrated into the environment, which are immersive enough, or wherein I can invite some guest speakers from other universities as well, who can train them, and just talk about their culture as well. Um, I think these are the three ways which I'm using it right now. I'm trying to explore it in different ways as well, because I was talking about the case study previously, like 5 minutes back, wherein we had some undergrad students who are looking forward for doing a case study, wherein it can be a sustainable event which can be designed in the same environment online, and wherein you have like a score sheet or something wherein students can know like what are the impacts of it, what are the non-sustainable and sustainable products which can be used in event planning. So that is the next step that I'm looking out for sure, like in order to involve students into it to make it like more immersive. But these are the ways which we have been doing it. Overall, the guidelines which were made by our like school itself, they were pretty good enough. Even the trainings, they are effective. And as Kian said, to make it more inclusive, so that we don't, and we have to take care of student accommodations. That is a prime role as instructors. We give them different opportunities, like to join this environment. And Engage itself has been pretty helpful with this, because like even if you are not joining through Metaverse, you can join it online, and still they are involved. Still they know what exactly is going on.
Yeah.
So this is the way like it has been implemented in my classes.
And you're primarily, Smita, using Quest 2, Meta Quest 2 headset,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And does the university provide every student a headset, or do some students show up with their own VR headsets?
No, so we already have around Kian, if I'm not wrong, we have 40 Oculus, right? Roughly.
We have 40 Oculus, yes.
40,
So our school has 40 Oculus.
So we have around like 40 Oculus with us. So altogether, what we do is We have our, like, some accounts have been created with the user ID and password. So we keep on swapping those things semester to semester. And we try to give like one Oculus to each student. So at least like they are involved. There's some students who are a little bit resistant because altogether they don't want to involve with the metaverse, but they just love to be that in that engaged environment. So we give them all opportunities, whatever way it works for them. As Kiyan said already, that we are doing a research work with students, so that soon that publication will be out. Like, and we will try our level best to share with the instructors and with the entire education community, like what are the challenges and how you can rectify and look forward for the opportunities of using metaverse in the classes. So that will be pretty helpful, I think, for all the instructors who are just thinking about how to use it and what challenges they can face so that they are well prepared for future.
So, Kiyan, you said earlier that you are doing end of semester surveys of students on their reaction. What have you seen from those surveys on things students like? Are they generally receptive to it? And are there some challenges that we need to keep working on?
I think that's Smita does the same thing. We try to get students' feedback through the some interviews with students and also the survey that we send to students. So I want to talk about the challenges. I think one of the main challenges for using metaverse technology are some technical challenges, like having a strong Wi-Fi. If you're using it on campus, or if you're home, you have to make sure that your Wi-Fi is strong enough for you to join the session. For example, before spring break, 2 weeks ago, I was using the technology. 2 students, they couldn't join just because of their internet. So I think that's the main challenge. Also, we have some non-traditional students in our programs. Some of those non-traditional students, they need more time. I can say we need to spend more time with them to make sure that they are ready to use it. Some of them, they need some kind of training. That's why having a TA is very helpful. So our TA, we have 101 sessions with some students to make sure that they're ready to use it whenever we are using it. Or if they can join remotely, they decide to come on campus, and then we make sure that we are with them whenever they need help joining the session. I think these are some challenges, not only for the VR, this type of training, not only for VR, for any type of technology that you want to use in the classroom, you will have these types of challenges. And then some feedback that we always receive from a student is to make sure that we add value to a student's learning experience. We don't want to use virtual reality just to use it. Students, they want to see the value. For example, if you want to invite a guest speaker, why guest speaker cannot join via Teams, right? You have to make sure you bring something to the table when you have a guest speaker. For example, this semester I had a guest speaker that we had a tour, a lecture, then a tour, so different elements all together. So students, they want to see that value when you're using it. Also, I think another feedback that I received from students, as you mentioned as well, Steve, in hospitality, many companies, many hotels, restaurants, many hospitality companies are using virtual reality technology in their business for their training purposes. So some hotels, some tourism destinations, they offer virtual tours, so to motivate people to go and visit their hotels, to even visit their destination, right? So something that the students are learning here is not only, for example, in my class, is not only about guest service. They are also learning about the potentials of using virtual reality in their future life, in their future career, how they want to incorporate this virtual reality in, if they own a business, some of them, they own a business. So how they can use it for their training purposes as well, right? Because I received great feedback. And it's interesting, some students, they give you some feedback that the way that you could use it. For example, I teach a course, its name is Hotel Industry Fundamentals. So I'm working on the modules now. I'm trying to use the metaverse technology to teach students, for example, different departments of the hotel, housekeeping, front desk. So you can have these types of scenarios. you can teach students in the virtual environment how they can make it better, for example, right? How they can interact with the guests if they have a valet in their hotel, if they have a front desk, if you're working at the front desk. So there are different opportunities here. And then students, they provide great feedback. So they say, what if we use this? I see these opportunities. What if we use this one for this specific purpose or for this specific topic in the classroom? So students, I always mention to students, whenever you have the Oculus for one semester, make sure to use it. You have an Engage account, which is not free. If you're not taking this class, you cannot have access to all of these different contents, right? So I want to make sure for them to spend some extra times when they have Oculus at home. In addition to my class sessions, they have some time to spend on learning the technology as well.
That's
and
wonderful.
then and then going back to your question, our students, we have for the Oculus, and then we make sure that we use it for 2 classes currently. We want to make sure that we don't have more than 40 students in 2 classes. We have a cap. So every single student, they get their Oculus and they take it home. And then we have another thing that I want to mention to other people, other faculty that they might want to consider using this. You have to have support from your school, from your university. We get a great support from our school, from our university. So we are, sometimes they ask us what else you want, what else we can add to help you to create a better experience for students. I think that support element is very important as well, because you will get some complaints from students as well, at least in the first few weeks, because they have some challenges. I cannot log in, I cannot do this, I cannot do this. You cannot be successful unless you have the support.
I think that's really great advice. Smita, you get the last question here. Quick hit. What is your best hope for the future of using this technology in your class?
So, as we are proceeding further, like definitely I'm looking out for more engaging opportunities wherein students can still join the environment and they can create an environment for themselves as well. For example, like, in order to create a sustainable event or something, if there are some props or something which can be used, so at least students are well aware about, and how they can utilize it. Maybe create a digital setup just to let their customers know about it. That can also be one thing that I'm looking forward for. With reference to other things, I think I know like metaverse has been discussed a lot with the training aspect related to various fields, especially with hospitality. And I can still feel that, people are not aware about the technology. So awareness is like a must go for sure, because when I was doing one of the research work with one of the students, and it was all about the event planners, like their sustainable aspects, and it was all about like what they think about metaverse in future. To be very honest, like looking forward for collaborating with people, some people were not even aware about the term which is called as metaverse, right? And then they were asking about the definitions of it, although it forms a better version of the virtual reality part. But I still feel that this should go on a different level, on a platform wherein people are aware about this word itself, the phrase itself, and they can talk about it comfortably. So as of now, I can see industry is not well prepared, but given that the initiatives that are taken by you, Steve, and other people who are in the same AI environment, and they are planning to do a lot of things, I think this can go to a different level, but it will require some time for sure.
Yeah, well, I'll wrap up by just saying this. MSU Denver is one of the true innovators, the pioneers in this effort. And thank you, Kiyan and Smita, for leading this effort. To our listeners and viewers, I just want to say that you can learn more about MSU Denver in the link we will provide with this broadcast. And we look forward to having you join us next week for another great show. With that, thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for having us, Steve.